Slam Pigs Podcast 36 episodes. Man, it just keeps rolling on, Michael.
First time you ever get to them without saying the date and the day. And feel a little awkward.
Saturday night, November the 26th, 2016. It's what, 11:30 p.m.? Do you want the exact location?
Well, no, you just can't switch it up on me like that without letting me know. I wasn't prepared. It wasn't on my sheet.
Maybe that's what the show needs, a little mixing of the, changing of the guards.
All right.
Shake it up.
Fine.
Michael, welcome, by the way.
Thank you.
Slam Pigs Podcast. We're back once again. Before we get things started, Michael, thank you to Eric Amard, or Ahmed Johnson, whatever you call him.
His name is Amard Johnson.
Amard Johnson, for joining us last week for our post-show. Got nice feedback on that show, definitely. Always a pleasure to have Eric on for me.
Yep, he's all right for a Canadian.
But thanks, Eric, for coming on. Everyone check out First Thing in the Morning on YouTube. Also check out the Hard to Name podcast on Hibiki TMD. And follow us on Twitter, me at the Hibiki TMD. And Michael, where can everyone find you at on Twitter?
You can find me on Twitter at Mike the Slam Pig, or on Facebook as my name. And that's about it.
There you have it.
Don't call me. I'm not giving you my phone number.
And check us out on the Facebook group, Slam Pigs Podcast.
Yeah.
So, all that being said, Michael, Survivor Series in the books. We had our post-show last week, the main event. Everyone's still talking about Goldberg and Lesnar and what happened in it. Before we get into that, it's time for this week's Raw Review.
I don't know!
Monday Night Raw, the night after Survivor Series, Michael, and we all agreed, even Eric when he was on the show, Survivor Series was a good show.
Yeah.
Thumbs up from all of us. And they went back into it at the start of Raw. Who came out to open the show, Michael?
Goldberg.
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 Yep, Goldberg came out. Thanked the fans. It seemed like he was going to go away for a second.
Adolf Hitler would be rolling in his grave right now.
Wow. I was really reaching for a reference on that.
That many people in an arena chanting a Jewish name.
But I will say, for everyone that called our post show, we had breaking news on the spot. We knew this before it even aired. The night before, Goldberg was on for the Royal Rumble. He had signed on. Goldberg announced he ran into Stephanie McMahon in storyline backstage, asked if he'd had another title run in him. He said he did. Crowd chanted yes. Goldberg has been getting nothing but good reactions except for Minnesota, obviously. Yeah. And he wasn't even there. But I thought this was well done. After,
was it?
Huh?
Was it?
Timothy Weldon, Stephen Dunn.
Sorry, you say well done, I get excited.
You push that button in like 2 seconds.
Couldn't help it.
Michael, like I think it's been a week now. We've had time to process the booking of that match. I think it was smart because it's got nothing but people talking. Looking back, I think that was the only way you could have booked it. Honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to have a rematch, but what do you think?
Rumors are the rematch is going to be at WrestleMania, and they're actually going to have a match this time. I don't know how that's going to go over real well. But that is the rumor. Obviously, with both men being in the Royal Rumble, you know they're going to clash at some point, which is going to lead to the WrestleMania feud.
Yep.
So, yay, another Goldberg-Lesnar match.
Well, we never know, though. That's not set in stone.
Maybe somebody will get hurt and we don't have to watch that.
Maybe Goldberg wins the goddamn Royal Rumble. You never know. But the way I think I've mentioned you off air. By the way, everyone here in the States, our listeners, happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Hope you had a good Thanksgiving.
Happy Turkey Day. Happy Black Friday. Are we allowed? We're still allowed to say that, right? Black Friday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's move on.
I just checked.
Motherfucker. Yeah. New Jack approves.
Yes.
God damn it. New Jack always makes me lose my train of thought. I think I mentioned you at Thanksgiving when we got together. I could see Goldberg dominating when he finally comes out. You know he's going to come out late. Mm-hmm. You know he's going to be 25 and above.
He might be a little before that.
Think maybe 21?
Because he has to come out a little bit before that because you don't want them in the Final Four. Yeah. So you probably, if you're going to be smart about it, maybe you put him anywhere between 18 and 22, somewhere in there, and you have Lesnar come out right after him. You have Goldberg
as a surprise, though.
Yeah.
Lesnar comes out as a surprise, not advertised.
Not advertised, but you have him come out the very next entrant because that gives Goldberg time to go in there and clean house.
Clear the ring out.
Well, at least mostly.
Yeah.
Besides the top guys that you want to have there in the end, maybe. But then you have Lesnar come out, and of course the crowd will react, and then you have them face off again this time.
And then who takes Lesnar out? Do you see kind of like
I see a sneaky...
Like a Big John Studd type thing where Lawrence, the refrigerator Perry, pulled him out with his hand, like he went to shake his hand?
That could happen, or you could see like a Dean Ambrose or somebody sneak up from behind and get him out over the top.
James Ellsworth.
Yeah, that'd be
that would be just like Maven eliminating The Undertaker. One of my favorite eliminations of all time in any
Rumble.
Rumble.
Beat the shit out of Maven for the rest of the night.
I could totally see that. You get that good feeling along with,
realistic.
That's how we'd book it.
Yeah.
Glad we're on the same page, but time will tell if Goldberg can go more than 30 seconds next time. It was 1:20-something officially.
Well, the reasoning behind that was Goldberg was unsure.
Too.
Yeah, was unsure about how physical he could really be in that match because of his health and his age. So rightfully so, they went with the squash, and it worked out great. So good decision in the end.
That's how they opened Monday Night Raw. Also on this show, Michael, the main event. Let's get right into it. Universal title match. Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. No DQ, but Chris Jericho's barred from ringside.
Yep.
If it's no fucking DQ, that kind of counter.
This was Seth Rollins' reward for being on the Survivor Series team. They gave him his title match on Raw.
That shirt.
I actually thought that he might win it, just because of certain situations and maybe a rumor of Jericho splitting up. But I'm still a little unsure where WWE is going with this whole Jericho thing.
Tell you what, you catch this promo this week on Raw where they tease breaking up.
Yeah.
And then they said Roman Reigns. Did you see it, honestly?
No.
Okay, you didn't see it. I'm going to show it to you on the break. It was fucking great. It was classic. They totally trolled the audience. They were totally on the same page. But they teased it. And for everyone else that didn't see it, I guess, they pretty much said the standard blah, blah, blah when teams break up. Jericho went to walk away, and Owens goes, you know what? You know whose fault it was we lost? Finally, he was going to blame it on Jericho. Nope. And then they both looked at each other and said, Roman Reigns. And then they had a laugh, and the crowd popped huge. The crowd doesn't want them to break up, and I think the booking realizes that. The people booking it, they're not going to do it yet. Because it's been gold. Now, I know you have not been a fan of Kevin Owens' title reign.
No.
At all.
Not
just
really.
how he's been booked? Or?
Yeah, I was excited when he won it, but I guess the biggest frustration for me is we have not seen Triple H since then. Like, there's been no explanation for me. I guess they're like drawing this thing out till close to Mania, where it's going to be Rollins and Triple H. I guess
definite potholes in the storyline.
Yeah, I don't get it. You know what I mean? Why did Triple H do that? Why hasn't he been on the show since? Why aren't we getting answers? It's just the booking for that just seemed a little iffy for me, and you never really got an answer from Kevin Owens either.
I'm still not over this all of a sudden babyface Rollins that fans despise for 2 years.
It's
now
so
him
rehearsed.
and I know it was cool to see the Shield at Survivor Series have those, but it makes no fucking sense after all the shit Seth Rollins booking wise and Roman Reigns went through.
Yeah,
they'd just be over it this fast. I'm not used to Rollins as babyface yet, I guess.
It's obvious how the universe feels about Roman Reigns. Yeah. And he still has a belt, and he's still being booked like he's not the U.S. champ, but the big champ.
But in the end, Kevin Owens gets the win due to interference from Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
Ref's back was turned. Jericho interfered. Kevin Owens gets the Pop-Tart powerbomb.
Pop-Tart.
So 1, 2, 3.
Yep, I like the way you worded that. Pop-Tart powerbomb.
So I honestly thought Rollins was going to win here, Michael. I did. So where do you see the Raw brand doesn't have a pay-per-view till the Rumble? Mm-hmm. Do you see Owens carrying that belt into the Rumble as champ? And if you don't, what do you book as the title match for the Rumble?
I see him carrying it in there to the Rumble. I guess it makes sense to have Rollins and him at TLC. But I think at some point you have to evolve this storyline a little more with Rollins and Jericho going at it, because how many times does Jericho have to cost Rollins a match before Rollins finally has a feud with Jericho? I guess what they're trying... Well, Jericho is a part of Kevin Owens, so he's already feuding with Jericho. No, he's really not.
Well, they've been having matches on Raw.
Yeah, it just, to me, the biggest problem for me with Kevin Owens being champ is Chris Jericho's over way more than he is.
Yeah, he's outshadowing him by far.
I mean, it's like Kevin Owens has fallen into the background and he's the champion.
Because of a list.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Well, because of just pure charisma, which Jericho has always had. And Jericho could take the dumbest skit and turn it into, like we see right now,
Stupid
the
idiot.
list. Yeah. I mean,
the most basic insult, getting so over.
Yeah.
Stupid idiot.
It's just charisma.
It's
He
working.
has it. He's always had it. And, I mean, this is my favorite Jericho anyway. I never liked him as that serious suit-wearing heel. That was never my... A lot of people liked that.
I liked it.
I didn't. I thought it was kind of like a rip-off to me, but...
You know what my least favorite Jericho was? Remember when he first came back in like 2007 after his first break?
Mm-hmm.
Like he got fired in storyline on Raw by Eric Bischoff. That was my least favorite Jericho because he was trying too hard to be the babyface. He made his debut again. I think it was Orton, just like he did in '99, but it didn't work because he was older. He looked like Bon Jovi.
Yeah,
wasn't the same Chris Jericho. Yeah. So that was. But I love that WCW Jericho with Ralphus. Man, that was.
Well, I just love Jericho as that quirky heel. You know what I mean? Just stupid funny. You know what I mean? He's kind of like the Will Ferrell of WWE. You know what I mean? He makes jokes out of nothing. Like, he makes jokes out of childish humor. And to me, I guess I'm childish. I like it. But you heard it from me first, folks. I'm childish.
A lot of newer fans, casual fans, Chris Jericho has truly been all over the world. Japan. So you can go on YouTube and find so many classics of Jericho in Japan, just as babyface Lionheart Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
In his rookie years, tearing it down. I mean, he's pretty much, in a way, this generation, Shawn Michaels, he's been good since day one. He gets better with age. He knows when to reinvent himself.
This guy's in his mid-40s.
Yeah, he always knows when to reinvent himself. To put the brakes on if it's not getting over.
The only thing I would change with Jericho is, please, can we quit wearing undies? Jericho is not good in undies. Can we put him in pants?
Can you picture that again, though, him in pants?
Yes.
I don't know.
It looks a lot better than him in undies. Just my opinion.
Put him like when he had the street fight with CM Punk, he just wore jeans. Yeah, that looked more reasonable.
I mean, to me, I just would rather not see Jericho in undies. I'd rather not see really anybody in undies, but that's my opinion.
What about Power and Glory?
Power and Glory, maybe
they
a
get a
little
pass.
different. Yeah,
right?
they can get a pass.
Moving right along, speaking of Stephanie McMahon and Mick Foley rewarding people for Survivor Series, Cesaro and Sheamus got rewarded for being the sole survivors with another tag title match.
Impromptu title match.
I got to be honest, I thought they were going to win it.
Yep.
But they didn't.
Nope.
They didn't win it. They lost. The New Day reign continues, Mike. They're going to break Demolition's record.
Fastly approaching Demolition's record.
At this point, they have to do it. Why would they fall short?
They've been pushing this thing for quite a while now. So
Demolition isn't in the good graces either because of that lawsuit they were part of.
They're definitely pushing it kind of like they did with Nikki Bella, with the longest title reign and approaching the record and this and that. They didn't really do that with Charlotte though.
Yeah.
But whatever. I don't know. I guess coming off of this match, and Cesaro and Sheamus aren't even going to get a title match.
Yeah.
At the pay-per-view now. I think it's Gallows and Anderson. Gallows and Anderson earned a title shot by beating...
I'm much happier if it
the
does...
Golden Truth, I believe.
If it... Yeah, that's a hell of a contenders match.
Yeah.
Next week with the Godwins.
I mean, that made sense, I guess. Or not.
You know what? Fuck it. I like Golden Truth. In a way, I like both those guys.
Well, I mean, do they ever win?
No, but they're not meant to, but they're entertaining. It's kind of like Goldust and Booker T was in a way, but they actually won the tag belts.
Yeah.
Wow, that got over so much. But
I don't know.
I'd much rather see Gallows and Anderson win, sorry to lose my train of thought, than Cesaro and Sheamus. So if it finally does come off the New Day, I'm happy. I feel like I've said the same thing because it's always Gallows and Anderson on the show after so many episodes. The club hold the mayo.
I've officially jumped off the club bandwagon.
Is it their fault? I know you hate Luke Gallows.
Some of it, yeah. I think some of it is. I think their lack of charisma is kind of shining through here in WWE because that's more valued in WWE than almost any company. It's not like New Japan, where they value the wrestling and they value the matches. WWE, they value charisma and talking and the total package.
Look.
Yeah, and it's just, you can tell that they're getting kind of exposed. I hate to say the word exposed. Not that they're not great talents as a tag team, but in my opinion, they're getting exposed in WWE, and they're just kind of, I think they've kind of fallen off into that, like, middle of the Pac tag team in WWE.
I would say Luke Gallows is getting more exposed to Carl Anderson because I know for you it's
oh yeah, if
you're a big Carl Anderson fan.
If I was going to pick one or the other, I know Gallows has the size, but I think Anderson is the better worker, the better talker. He's just the smaller guy, unfortunately.
Yeah. He reminds me of Arn Anderson.
Yeah,
in a way.
Yeah,
so does Scott Dawson from the Revival.
It just, I don't know. It's nothing against Luke Gallows. I mean, I know the guy's he's a local guy, but it's just every time he talks, I just want to throw up. To be honest with you, every time it's so gimmicky. Like, I'm a big guy, so I have to talk real deep and loud.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
that's
totally Vince in his ear.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
bow out, damn it.
Yeah, like it. Didn't you get fired for being that way before, and you just go back to doing the exact same thing?
The straight edge society.
Yeah, I mean, he was the exact same way in the straight edge society.
Well, how versatile and how well rounded would he be though? What's he going to be?
I don't know. A lot of the problem could be we could be just jumping their shit, saying that they're not that good. But a lot of the problem could be that they're limited in what they're allowed to say.
Well, that's very true.
They're not exact. Like I said when
they're
they first,
totally shackled.
I believe I said this when they first came to the company. I wondered how successful they would be because
I remember you were excited, but you were worried for them
because of the PG.
Yeah,
and they are not exactly what you would think of as a PG tag team. The way they've wrestled all around the world, you hear promos from them around the world, they aren't exactly PG.
Yeah.
So that was one of my biggest worries, and it's being exposed, kind of like the Bayley thing that we discussed. I was worried about how well Bayley would get over, just realistically, on the main roster.
Beautiful segue.
Yep.
It's obvious it's going to be Bayley and Charlotte now. Sasha Banks, she asked for a rematch on this show, so I guess that's happening next week, or it did happen. Sorry if I didn't pay attention. There's like 9 hours of fucking wrestling on a week, guys, so it's hard to keep up with it, but it's going to be Bayley and Charlotte.
They had a tag match. It was Nia Jax and Charlotte against Bayley and Sasha Banks, and Bayley and Banks won, but Bayley's being pushed as the number one contender right now. So,
yep.
There you go.
I still feel it's.
You had a cruiserweight match too. If anybody gave a shit,
Rich Swann getting that number one contender.
Yes, Rich Swann finally somebody different, somebody that actually. I think if you had to go to the charisma side of the cruiserweight division, I think it's always at Rich Swann. If he's not the best guy as far as charisma, he's definitely top 2.
Kendrick up there.
Yeah. I think. I mean, of course, I'm a Cedric Alexander fan just for his in-ring ability. Haven't really got a chance to hear him talk much.
Yeah.
But I think as far as in-ring ability, I think Cedric Alexander has the most wow factor of the cruiserweights.
Unless Kota Ibushi is finally signed, and then you got to say hands down Kota Ibushi.
Well, Ibushi's on a different level.
But if those guys if Ibushi does come back and they ever have a rematch,
but Ibushi's never going to make as much money in WWE as he could anywhere else.
We mentioned this on way back, man. I think in the teens on the episodes about this Japanese invasion of NXT, and that's great for NXT, but they barely speak English. Like, and you've signed so many of them. Hideo Itami was totally outshined by Nakamura when Nakamura came up. So, and fucking Itami's injured again. He just came back. He's injury prone, obviously.
He's brittle.
He is a legend in Japan at this point, but he's not getting any younger. A lot of it has to do
with your dance partner too. The people that they're putting him in with, you have to be careful.
He worked Finn Balor a lot, though.
I know, but Itami works that certain style where you have to be careful with him.
That strong style shit.
That's another thing that worries me about Shinsuke. If you bring him up to the main roster, how long can he last working that kind of schedule? So, because let's be honest, Shinsuke is not exactly what I would call a physically fit guy.
And if you want to get real talk with it, Asuka speaks the least English out of any Japanese talent they've signed. Watch any promo of Asuka.
Yeah.
Holy shit. And
she gets by just like Shinsuke does on in-ring ability. And believability. Her ring style gets over.
It seemed to me, and I think to you, that Sasha Banks was a total package. At one point in NXT, when she was doing that heel, it was like, man, she's got it all.
Just the only problem with Sasha Banks is size. I know she's a girl, and you don't have to be big to be a girl, but even next to the other girls, Sasha Banks is tiny.
Okay.
Like, that's the same thing.
Even Bayley.
That's the same thing, like I was going to say. Same thing with Bayley. That's another thing that worried me, like I said, about Bayley. Can she be believable on the main roster?
Yeah.
You know, that's the problem. I hate to say that size matters, but to me, I guess a little bit of it, to be believable to me, a little bit of it does.
It does.
I mean, do you ever think that Bayley, if this was real, would you ever see Bayley beating Nia Jax up?
Hell no.
No. So that's my biggest problem. Like, if I can't
I could
believe
legit see Asuka beating Nia Jax in real life.
I could see Asuka doing it because Asuka actually has that. That's another big thing with me with Bayley. Bayley's in-ring stuff just seems very, like, rehearsed. You know what I mean? It's almost like a dance instead of it actually feeling real to you. You ever watch her work?
That wave the arms thing in the corner.
Just a lot of her moves.
I need a corner signature move. Yeah. What can I come up with?
Yeah. And of course the crowd goes along with it, but to me, every move she does almost just, I'm like, yeah, that was so fake. Like, it's just not believable.
Her corner elbows are pretty brutal to watch.
But I mean,
I mean in a bad way. They're not good. They're brutal.
Most everything else to me is just, really? Like, I'm supposed to believe this?
I don't know if you've seen a lot of her, but I called it when I first saw her. The next big thing is going to be Ember Moon. That girl reminds me of just the elements of an Asuka, a Mickie James. Speaking of Mickie James, I feel like nobody's talking about this. Is Mickie James going to sign a deal? I haven't seen anything on news sites.
I mean,
she looks so good at NXT. Like, she hadn't lost a step.
Didn't win.
Didn't win.
Well, but yeah,
it's pretty determined, Michael.
I don't know if she was just brought back for a one-shot deal.
Speaking of, I was going to say maybe she'd be a trainer. Little breaking news: we just found out about a former ECW alumni, Ring of Honor announcer right now.
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
Mr. Corino,
Steve Corino.
Yeah, Steve Corino actually signed with WWE to work at the Performance Center as a trainer. So congratulations to him.
I like Steve Corino.
Yeah.
I remember in ECW he got on stage at a Limp Bizkit concert when he was doing the King of Old School gimmick, and like they used it on television. They had to deal with Limp Bizkit, and Limp Bizkit in '99 was like the biggest band in the world.
Yep. I mean, congratulations to him. He's now a trainer at the Performance Center. Maybe also signed as possible backup plan to do some commentating on some shows if needed. But
I can see him on NXT.
Yeah. But there you have it. There's a little bit of news for you.
And that was basically Monday Night Raw, Michael.
Can I go over something that I went over, I think, a couple months ago?
Braun Strowman beat the shit out of Sami Zayn real quick.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah, yippee.
Just to cap that off. Good.
I'm really disappointed in WWE that they have not gone along with this idea that I brought up. I don't know if they don't listen to me, if they don't, shame on them.
They don't listen to the show.
You have the Royal Rumble coming up. Wouldn't it be great to
bring back Sid?
No. Wouldn't it be great to have a women's Royal Rumble match alongside the men's? That's something that I think I brought up before.
Is there enough? What would you do? 15 or 20 though?
You could bring everybody up from NXT if you needed to fill it out. You could have it at 20 instead of 30 if you wanted.
Have 20 women wrestling?
You could have
NXT and WWE combined.
Could you imagine that opening the show? And then you have your title. You have some title matches in between.
Bring back some names. Bring back Victoria.
Yeah,
bring back Mickie James.
Yeah, I mean,
I could see that.
I just think that's an idea that they've never used that would be awesome right now because of the depth that they have in the women's division. I think that would help everybody look at the women's division like, oh, cool. You know what I mean? Like we're having a women's match.
Get people talking.
Plus, Ivory just had a birthday. Happy birthday to Ivory.
I know you love some Ivory.
I could see her coming back. I'd love to see her.
Wash you down with Ivory.
Yes, please. But I just think that'd be a great idea. Let me know what you guys think about that, because I've said this before and nobody really gave me any feedback on it. How would you guys feel about a women's Royal Rumble match at the Royal Rumble? Yay, nay? What do you think? Let us know.
On behalf of my co-host here at WWE, fuck you for not listening to this idea.
Yes.
So
my ideas are valued very highly around the world.
Speaking of valued, something that's very highly in demand on this show, I think it's promo break time.
It is promo break time, and it's your turn.
I'm going a little hard this week.
Uh-oh.
I'm going a little raspy.
Uh-oh.
King Harley Race.
Oh, shit.
On the Slam Pigs Box. Saturday night's main event promo. I'm against the Junkyard Dog specifically. I don't know why I remember this promo.
He almost made the cut on This Week in Wrestling History, on This Day in Wrestling History for me on Twitter.
Yeah, you want to promote that real quick?
Yeah, guys, if you haven't checked it out already, on Twitter I'm doing a thing every day. I'm doing a certain moment in history for every day of the year now, guys. So check it out, my This Day in Wrestling History. Travis even did one for me the other day before I could even get to it.
One of my favorite moments.
Yeah, an 8-second match. But speaking of Harley Race, he just missed the cut the other day. I think it was 3 days ago. It was the anniversary of the $1 Million match between him and Flair.
Who did he lose out to?
Him and Flair.
They're going to say the Gooker beat him out for your tweet.
No, it was... Shit.
I like how
I think it was Sting.
I like how your first pop in your cherry was gobbledygooker.
Yeah. It would have been too easy to say the Undertaker's debut. I thought it'd be funny to do the Gooker.
I like how you went right to WWE on their post. Like,
it wasn't his debut.
He was Kane the Undertaker,
yes.
WWE. You put at WWE.
Yep.
That was great. Fuck all of you.
Fuck them.
I'll burn it down. Motherfucker!
There's your new Jack again. But yeah, that almost made it was I believe it was a Flair for the Gold match is what it was called.
Yes. The very first Starrcade.
Yeah.
In a cage.
And it just missed my cut. Maybe next year.
That match is historic for what it was.
Yep.
But I got to be honest, kind of sucks.
Yeah, well, it's Harley Race.
Yeah.
Harley Race at the end.
Well, Harley Race had some good matches with Dusty Rhodes, Terry Funk.
It's just Harley Race's style is very hard to get excited about.
But
very slow, methodical.
Let's get right into the man himself. Ugh. I didn't mean to say it like that.
Ew.
Here's Harley Race. I'm going to throw up.
And this could be even worse.
Slam Pigs Podcast.
This microphone's good.
Thou shalt genuflect as I walk to the ring. Thou shalt arise and cheer as I enter the ring. And thou shalt bow in tribute as I leave the ring victoriously.
And that was the king, Harley Race, here on the Slam Pigs podcast. It's the only place where you're ever going to hear a Harley Race promo voluntarily.
The best king of all time, Michael?
No.
The worst. Haku was a king. Anyway, Slam Pigs. Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yeah.
We are back. We just watched a quick clip of King Barrett. Honky Tonk Man almost losing a finger. Maybe I'll throw that video up right now. Let's just say what happened. For some reason, Honky Tonk Man is this fucking fan. I guess he paid Honky Tonk Man to let him smash a acoustic guitar with him. Take a look at this, guys. Wham! Right there. Oh my God! Look how hard the fan hit. And you hear Honky go, Jesus!
I need to go to the hospital.
In his sandals and Adidas shorts.
Yep. Honky is styling.
I don't know why we watched that, but I felt the need to bring that up, Michael.
Yeah, just because it was funny.
Maybe because that was more to talk about.
And can someone
Smackdown.
please find us the Hector Guerrero match where he goes, "Ow,
ow!"
Yeah. We've been looking for that and we can't find it.
We are back.
I thought it was against Alex Wright or something, or maybe it was Dean Malenko.
Mortis.
I don't know.
All those WCW Nitro matches.
Regardless, he takes a chop and sounds like a girl.
Nobody took a chop like Hector Guerrero. What are we doing? What are we talking about?
Well, it's about time, Travis, for this week's SmackDown Live review.
SmackDown Live was this week. Don't forget that live.
Yeah.
It was this week, Michael. Not a whole lot to talk about on this show. The biggest thing coming out of this,
main event.
James Ellsworth in a ladder match against AJ Styles. If Ellsworth won, he gets a contract with WWE, which he's already signed in real life a couple days, weeks prior, against AJ Styles. And yeah, Ellsworth actually won clean.
He won clean, and he earned himself a title shot.
The crowd, I got to say, for the first time, the more I've heard it, a more mixed reaction for James Ellsworth.
This makes no booking sense to me because he's undefeated against AJ Styles. How many matches does he have?
Help.
How many matches? I don't care. How many matches does he have to win to get a title shot? I mean, anybody else, if they'd have won dirty twice, they're still getting a title shot.
But they have chins.
Now you're just discriminating against chins.
You got to say one thing. Whoever's feeding JBL on commentary the things to say about James Ellsworth, some of the things he said, he's like, the human slug, the chinless freak. Yeah, those are legit things I've heard JBL say. That's awful.
I don't know that anybody's really feeding him that.
Well, if not, he's just a dick, straight up.
Well, I think we already knew that. JBL is not the nicest man in the world.
But damn, sometimes it's like, that's a little much.
Don't you remember some other people that he used to make fun of all the time?
Be a star. Everybody. He tries to put down everybody. Except John Cena. Big match John.
He hates The Miz.
He's come around on The Miz.
Yeah, now, because The Miz is, a heel and stuff.
When The Miz first debuted, I remember JBL destroying him.
Yep. And that was real life heat there.
But yeah, the James Ellsworth thing, has it jumped the shark yet? That's the elephant in the room everyone's talking about, wants to address. For me, this was a little much. I could get like the whole 1-2-3 Kid type gimmick.
Yeah.
The underdog. But 1-2-3 Kid never beat Bret Hart for the title. He just wrestled Bret Hart on a Raw for the title. The Kid never got that. He beat Razor Ramon, but that was to get him over. I don't know. The Kid only won tag belts with like Bob Holly.
Has it run its course for you, Travis?
It's right there at the end. If it hasn't already, it's right there about 2.
Well, the whole thing with signing Ellsworth full-time is after this, where does Ellsworth go?
The jobber status, basically.
I guess. I mean, do you see him in the company this time next year?
Do you see a lot of Ellsworth shirts in the crowd with his face on it?
Yes.
I don't really pay attention.
Not a year from now, but right now, yes.
Is he this generation's Santino Marella in a way? Because Santino remember that Elimination Chamber match? Santino, like wow, he went in there to the finals with Daniel Bryan. The crowd was really behind Santino. You think it's kind of like that, in a way?
It could be, but you also think Santino won the Intercontinental Championship in his debut.
And he was very entertaining, and so like the tea time with Santino.
Santino was funny. Ellsworth isn't funny to me. I mean, he's that awkward kid in school that nobody really talks to.
I think they totally fell into it. James Ellsworth is a local guy here for MCW, Maryland Championship Wrestling. He's local here. He was they happened to be having a show out here, and he was a jobber in a Braun Strowman match.
Yep.
And one internet picture of James Ellsworth got him so over. There were giant sticky head signs of him in the crowd. What are those things called? The giant head pictures?
The fat heads or
whatever?
whatever.
Fat head. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, and then WWE just capitalized on it. What's funny about that is WWE waited like over a year till the RKO out of nowhere vines and stuff had already been out. They should have capitalized on that when it happened because Randy Orton would have got so much more over, but they never did.
Yeah.
Until like a year later. So, but they did capitalize on the Ellsworth memes and stuff.
Yep. But
I'm already spent talking about James
he wins
Ellsworth.
clean. The old Shawn Michaels razor finish, getting caught in the ropes. AJ Styles loses. Ellsworth earns his contract and a title shot. God help us if he wins that belt.
I'll tell you one thing. Shout out to Melody Ann. She hates James Ellsworth.
And loves Roman Reigns.
Well, Rollins. That's her guy.
And Rollins. Yeah. She likes that long hair. She doesn't like those chinless freaks.
Yep.
She likes long hair and beards and goatees.
What else happened on SmackDown, Michael, speaking of titles?
You had The Miz who beat Kalisto.
Well, that's not where I was going, but...
I mean, you had a tag...
You talking to me off air about... You want to talk about this match?
He's the Intercontinental title match.
Was this for the Intercontinental?
It wasn't for the title, but he's the Intercontinental champ.
Baron Corbin interfere?
No.
No?
But you had tag team turmoil.
That's where I wanted you to go.
Okay.
That's where I was going.
Sorry. You know I'm a big Miz fan.
American Alpha getting the win.
Yes, tag team turmoil.
I'll say, did you notice the Vaudevillains coming out and getting squashed in like 20 seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
It was cool.
Future endeavor. Wish you the best. I didn't take long, did
Future Ring of Honor. But
didn't quite make it, did we, Sean?
I love that promo.
God.
We already had that, though.
We did.
Damn it. Didn't quite make it to 15, did we?
But American Alpha, I mean, they're booking them like the Steiners again. Booking them strong. They look great. God, I love their finisher. The German suplex dropkick thing they do. Chad Gable's bridge and the strength he has for littler guys. Here I go, coming all over American Alpha, putting them over again.
Rumor has it, though, this is just for them to be fed to the Wyatts. Well, a.k.a. Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt.
I'll give the devil his due as far as, speaking of, I'm talking about you.
Mm-hmm.
I've come around on the Revival. I'm so excited for them to finally come up. I'm just worried what they're going to do with them.
Yeah, hopefully they don't pull another Ascension. God, way to just take a tag team that was strong.
They were in this match.
Yeah, and just totally fuck their whole career. Just with one outfit. I mean, that's all it was. As soon as people saw what they were wearing, they were like, are you fucking kidding me? And ever since then, it's just been... So...
But after American Alpha got the win, who came out, Michael?
The Wyatts.
The Wyatts. And this is where they're going to... For some reason, the Wyatts mysteriously now, they have to go through the Wyatts to get the number one contendership. Who just grants the Wyatts? I mean, they do deserve congratulations, obviously, and reward.
I mean, they were the sole survivors in the main event.
Let's waste it on a tag match. Why not give Bray a title match if you're a family?
Well, I mean, you had him and Randy both survive, so... Evidently they're a team.
I don't think we brought it up when we talked about the finish of that. Randy Orton stepping in front, taking the spear for Bray Wyatt.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of think they're still doing the angle with Randy sneaking in there, going to turn his back?
Oh, yeah.
Well, this is here to stay?
Well, rumor, rumor has it that they're going to win the tag titles. They're going to beat American Alpha, then they're going to beat Heath Slater and Rhino.
Damn it.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I Got Kids is about to be homeless.
I want it to last forever. I've never wanted a reign to last so long in my life.
Oh my God. Especially with Rhino without facial hair.
I thought you were a huge Heath Slater fan before.
That was you.
No, that was you.
That
When he was
definitely-
putting over the legends, you're like, man, you don't see it in this guy? He's good. That's why they put him out there.
Yeah, but now not so much. I believe I've gone on record to say, why does he still have a job?
I think he's grown a lot. I think he's definitely a veteran now. He's been there for almost 10 years.
I guess that makes you a veteran when you've been jobbing for 10 years. But it just to the point where, can we please get off of this crap of all these unlikely people winning?
Yeah.
Like, that's what SmackDown's all about, it seems like. You got Ellsworth, you got I Got Kids winning the tag belts.
You got a babyface, clean-shaven Rhino now,
Yeah,
looking fat as ever.
God, he just looks weird.
And that gore doesn't quite have the oomph on it.
No.
It's a little delayed.
He's got a little too much belly to be delivering it like he used to.
You know what I see happening? Baron Corbin just fits in the Wyatt family so perfectly to me instead of Orton. I can see Orton turning, this being a swerve. And then it's some match, they have grudge match. Corbin coming out and helping Wyatt. He's the new member. I can totally. That's what I would do. Well, Corbin's going nowhere.
Rumor has it that the Wyatts are going to win the belts, and then that's going to set up the turn from Orton to set up the match at WrestleMania with Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess whatever. Maybe Wyatt can get a win. I mean, has Randy Orton really won a match since he's come back?
Here's the question: is Randy Orton being wasted right now?
Well, yeah, I don't think they have any idea what to do with him. And I think fans are kind of stale on him.
He gets that huge pop when he hits that RKO, though.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, but for me, it's Randy Orton. How much can you really do with him? You know what I mean? I thought he peaked when he was running his own faction.
I think Orton and Styles would be a phenomenal, no pun intended, feud.
Yeah.
That would be tremendous.
But ever since Orton was running his own faction, I thought he's gotten really stale. Even
legacy.
Even with being out for as long as he was, I still don't think anybody really, especially when you have him return and get his ass whooped.
Yeah.
Like, here's Randy Orton's long-awaited return, and he gets his ass whooped.
By Brock Lesnar, who loses in 30 seconds 2 months later.
Yeah. So well, I believe it was 1 minute and 32 seconds, but.
Well, might as well be.
92 seconds. You were close. But anyway, that's my whole thought on Randy Orton. I've always been a big Orton fan as far as in-ring work. I really liked Orton when he first came up. Just his in-ring style back then. He was really explosive.
He was your favorite guy for years,
Yeah,
I remember. Back in that 08, 09.
Yeah, I loved Orton's in-ring ability, but then you could tell that he started getting a little older. And
then the Voices in His Head music came out and said, hey, nothing you can say.
Yeah.
Your favorite music of all time.
Thank you for the lovely singing. But
I tried.
Yeah, you should go in The Voice.
Time will tell.
Yeah, I could see it. But
with my hood up?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Then you could pull it off like AJ Styles does.
With mistimed pyro.
Yeah, 5 seconds after the pyro goes off.
There when it should. It just makes me want to do creative wrestler entrance so bad. It's like, fix it!
Yes.
God damn it!
That annoys me so bad. I'm so OCD about that. If your move does not fit the pyro, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
Christ.
You know whose pyro I absolutely hated? Just the way he posed. Bobby Lashley. It just went like he just.
All he did was and he did like the slow thing too. It wasn't even like it was like explosive.
Yeah.
Like, boom. No, it was just. You guys can't see what we're doing right now, but we'll have to put up a video for you.
That means I have to edit in a Bobby Lashley.
Well, no, you can just have you doing it. This is Bobby Lashley. Exciting. And then he does the Brock Lesnar jump.
Yep.
Congratulations, Brock Lesnar.
That was SmackDown, Michael.
Yeah.
Pretty uneventful. I think Raw.
Well, Becky Lynch beat Charlotte.
Hey, nothing you can say.
Okay.
It's going to take that away
right.
from Becky Lynch.
And Baron Corbin got a win against Kane.
Let's move on. Let's just stop right there with SmackDown because it only gets worse.
All right.
Then you'll talk about Mojo Rawley next.
So Raw won it this week?
Yes, I would say Raw won the war this week. Michael, news and rumors. Anything going on in the wacky, zany, fact-filled world of professional wrestling?
Well, I mean, we've already gone over Goldberg signing his contract.
Talked about Mr. Steve Corino.
We also got...
There's possible rumor leaks on Goldberg's whole deal through WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's going to lead up to a match with Brock Lesnar.
Also, Kenny Dykstra lost his day job.
Kenny Dykstra from the Spirit Squad.
Yeah.
For those that aren't familiar.
Otherwise
He's been
known
on
as
SmackDown.
otherwise known as Ken Doane.
Ken Doane. What's going on with that, Michael?
He lost his day job. He was working at a nonprofit charity organization, and they fired him because of missing too many days via WWE.
That's kind of shitty. You think they would like that kind of press? Like one of our guys that he volunteered there, right?
Well, I mean,
Correct?
he was making money in a nonprofit organization.
Okay.
Don't tell me how that works, but
Right.
obviously it's not nonprofit if people are getting paid somehow. But yeah, he lost his day job. I'm sure he's making a little more working for WWE right now.
Maybe there's a little more to it than that's what really, like, there's a reason why.
They said he was fired for missing too many days.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
You think they'd be all supportive about it? If, like, say like one of our day jobs or something, oh, by the way, I'm going to be on WWE television for a couple weeks. Do you mind if it takes some time? I'll talk about the business or try to do something.
I'll try and get you a plug. Nope.
Get out of here. You're fucking fired. Well, that seems fair.
Well, there goes my Wendys career.
Well, that sucks. What is this thing you mentioned to me about the wrestlers backstage praising Ken Doane, a.k.a. Kenny Dykstra, for what he said about John Cena? What's that all about?
I didn't read too much into it.
I know they had heat in the past over the apparent affair with Mickie James and John Cena. Because Kenny Dykstra and Mickie James at one point, before she married Magnus, because that's how they pronounce his name in TNA, Magnus. Magnus.
It's like meh. Sounds like meh.
Why are they supporting this?
I didn't read too much into it.
Seems like a picket line against John Cena.
Yep, pretty much. But
that's weird.
I don't care enough about it to talk about it. John Cena's not in the company right now. He's doing his television show, so I'd rather him not take up time on my show.
A little bit of talk and speculation about Conor McGregor possibly making in talks with WWE.
His manager has said that he is open to making an appearance, possibly at WrestleMania or whatever, as he is now taking a break from UFC because of money, obviously. Also rumors about him possibly fighting Floyd Mayweather, but that'll never happen. But yeah, that's the rumor this week. Not much going on this week, guys. Sorry, no drama.
Do you think he has a match, or do you think he has an appearance like Ronda Rousey?
I think it'll be more of an appearance. I could see him with somebody maybe like...
A lot of people said that about Mayweather, though. Then he'd ended up having a match.
Yeah.
A really good, underrated match, I think.
You're already going to have Shaq in a match against the Big Show.
Ugh.
So everybody's forgotten about that, but that's going to get put in here before too long.
I was actually reminded that the other day. I watched the Big Show shoot interview recently.
Yeah.
He's under 400 pounds, he said, for the first time in since 95 because of DDP yoga.
Yeah.
He looks good. The big man looks good. Got to give it to him.
Good job. Good job to him.
You know who doesn't benefit from DDP yoga? Mick Foley. Stop losing weight. You're looking really weak and frail.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the facial hair too. Do you have to look like a homeless man?
Yeah,
you're worth millions. Okay, you don't have to look like you're worth 5 cents.
Is he worth millions?
Yes.
Maybe worth $1 million.
You got to think with his books and his career in WWE, he's a multimillionaire.
Is the WWE even worth millions at this point?
Oh yeah.
Billion?
I don't think so.
People don't remember Mick Foley is a man who once had a Chef Boyardee commercial.
Yeah.
For those of us who we were like teenagers in the Attitude Era, Mick Foley was a huge star.
Yeah.
He really was.
He was the lovable weirdo. Yeah. The best way
to make you laugh or cry in a promo. One of my all-time favorite promos is Mick Foley. Maybe hint.
Okay.
Coming up in a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know.
God damn, it's slow news week.
But it is about that time, I think. It's about time for promo break time. But stay tuned. After this, we are going to finish off the show with our top 3, guys. We haven't mentioned it. It's a doozy. Travis and I are going to have our top 3 all-time In Your House matches.
Now, In Your House, Michael, was a 2 bi-monthly pay-per-view every month.
It was pretty much every month aside from the major pay-per-views.
Started in 95, ended around the beginning of the Attitude Era. Then they started actually naming them like Backlash. It was always like In Your House, Beware of Dog or something.
Aside from the big 4 pay-per-views, this was the pay-per-view you had every month. You had 8 In Your Houses and you had the big 4.
Yep.
If you don't know what the big 4 are, I'm not going to list them because you're stupid.
And on the initial In Your House pay-per-view, the gimmick was why it was called In Your House in the first place, Michael. The giveaway. Yeah. They gave away a house.
They gave away a house.
Florida.
Yep, and they watched wrestling.
Which looked, that's great. You gave us a house that looked way too expensive to pay on the mortgage or anything.
Yep. Hopefully they just paid that. I hope when they gave them the house, it was paid for.
Flip it.
Yeah.
That's what I would have thought.
But do you remember who got the house?
No clue.
Yeah.
No fucking clue.
Probably
I'm not that bad in the wrestling. Like, if
Probably
I
is.
knew that, you should start worrying.
Yeah.
It was John Spencer from Indiana. Like, wow.
How do you not know that, Travis? Jesus Christ.
But In Your House did have some incredible matches on.
Yes.
We're going to do our top 3 of all time when we come back. Michael, our promo break, though. Who do you got on tap?
Well, you mentioned it earlier. I think.
Motherfucker!
No, we're not having New Jack.
Ugh.
We're going to have a promo break from Santino Marella.
Ooh.
And it's tea time with Santino.
The classic.
Yes.
Probably the best Santino promo.
Yes. Santino's having some tea time with Sheamus. And
Vladimir Kozlov.
yes.
Yep.
And it was wonderful, entertaining, and I laughed through this whole skit.
And so are we.
Yes.
We're wonderful and entertaining.
Yes,
Look at
we
it,
are.
look at it, look at it.
Look at it! Be on the lookout for a new Slam Pig Cinema this evening as well.
That's actually going to drop tomorrow. You guys, this is probably going to drop Monday.
Yep.
Before Raw.
Yep.
But they have seen the new cinema dropped on Sunday tomorrow.
Good.
Booyah.
Good.
I got a good feeling about it.
Good.
It's one of your favorites.
All right.
We come back to Michael Slam Picks Podcast Top 3 time. We'll be right back. Here is
Santino Marella.
I'm not. Oh, you're very generous people, but you're not really helping me right now. I'm not that person, Sheamus. I'm not going to exclude you from activities and fun. Look, I invited you to my party. This is our party. It's not just your party. I'm not going to treat you like you're a ghost. Oh. No. Come on, that's not funny. Everyone knows that ghosts are not this white. Come on. No.
You're a very funny fella, aren't you, Santino, huh? I'll tell you what, you and me laughing so hard. I forget why I hate you in the first place.
Exactly. I think that you and I have the potential to get along famously, Sheamus. You know, I can't remember why you hate me either.
Sheamus hates you because you beat him.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Yes, you did. You beat Sheamus. It was the biggest upset in WWE history.
Ever. Thank you. Thank you very much, Kozlov. Your memory is so good.
A Kozlov chant! Oh my! Only in the United
You know
Kingdom.
Oh, you're low on tea. I don't like the way you're looking at me. Here's some tea here. Hold the cup, please. I'm sorry, can you? I'm sorry. No. That was. I'm so sorry. Oh! Sheamus!
Can I have your attention, please? I have received another email from the Raw General Manager. And I quote, "The time for tea and crumpets has come to an end. It's now time for action. Clear the ring. And clear Vladimir Kozlov from ringside as well. Because Santino Marella is going one-on-one with Sheamus."
Man, we got to get Lee back sometime. I know you want him. You're itching to get him back.
Come on, Lee. Gross up.
Maybe next week we'll try to have a guest on. I don't know. We'll see.
Perhaps. We'll see what's going
Well,
on.
wait. Next Sunday is actually TLC already. Oh, it's going fast. All these fucking brand split pay-per-views.
TLC is exclusively a
Network pay-per-view.
Mhm.
Not even a pay-per-view. Special
Yep.
event. we going to have post-show or?
We're having it. We're doing it. Because Cowboys aren't on next week. They're on Thursday again this week.
We literally just did a Survivor Series one. God damn you, WWE.
So maybe we can get some bagels on for post-show.
We'll see. If not, I know he wants to come here for the Rumble in person, Bagel Guy, because he's about an hour and a half away from us.
Oh.
Shout out to Corey the Bagel Guy on Twitter, Corey Newman. Check him out. Check us out, the Big TMD for me, smaller pace for Michael.
Smaller piece for me. Mike the Slam
At
Pig.
Hyman Roth. No, not Hyman Roth.
At Mike the Slam Pig.
Mike Slam Pig on Twitter and on Facebook.
15 followers already.
Still sitting at 15?
Just want to throw that out there.
Still sitting at 15?
I'm not advertising until now.
Let's get him to 1,500, guys. We can do this.
For God's sake.
It's God.
Hashtag get Mike to 1,500.
Hashtag get Hibiki TMD. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button.
100,000.
Longest hashtag ever. It's still going because I never ended it.
Yeah.
Stop hashtag.
108 characters is all you get, Travis.
We are back. It is Slam Pig's Top 3 time, Michael. This week, as before we went to break, top 3 in your house pay-per-view matches of all time. This stopped around, 98? From 95 to 98, WWE had WWF in your house pay-per-views. Michael, do you want to kick it off? I don't know if you kicked it off on the post show with the top 3 or
Age before beauty.
Sounds good. I'm still beautiful, like Adrian Adonis.
That's probably not a good one to use.
There's so much I could talk about. I know it's getting late in the show.
Never should have wore undies.
Yeah. So good at this gimmick though, Adrian Adonis.
It looked like dirty underwear when he wore them. It looked like he was shit in them.
I'm going to catch you off guard with this one. You may laugh initially as one of the participants in it, but this was a great match. So good they had to do it twice because the power went out on this In Your House pay-per-view, Michael. You remember when the lights went out?
The Caribbean strap match?
The Caribbean strap match. Awesome match. You got to admit, it was great.
It was a good match.
This was Jobber Steve Austin still with Ted DiBiase, but a lot of people say
this was after that. This was the first start of his Stone Cold gimmick.
No, that was King of the Ring. With the promo with Michael Hayes after he won King of the Ring.
Yeah, but he was already being
this
called
was
out.
when Ted DiBiase got fired. That was a stipulation if Austin lost. And he lost. Mm-hmm. And he became, or Savio Vega, the other participant, would have been the chauffeur of the $1 Million Man. This was a great match from top to bottom. Total way you do a strap match as far as ring psychology. They beat the shit out of each other. For 96.
Glad I wasn't in it.
Yeah, this was brutal.
Physical. That's your number 3, huh?
Caught you off guard with that.
Caribbean strap match.
I love that match.
All right.
I can't get enough of that.
Okay.
I remember actually we got that pay-per-view when the power went out.
Yeah.
My mom and dad were pissed. They were pissed. I'll never buy another pay-per-view. The next night on Raw, they announced that we'll give it away free those that bought it the next night. Like, all right, turn it on. You don't have to watch it twice. My
number 3, Travis, might come as a little surprise to you. It's not really brought up as one of the great matches of all time, but stipulation-wise, this is another one that they had to do twice, technically. The Final 4 match at In Your House. The last 4 participants of the Royal Rumble squaring off again.
Vader?
You had Vader, Stone Cold, The Undertaker, and Bret Hart.
I don't remember that match a lot.
All vying for the actual championship.
I remember the time, but I don't know that.
Yeah, because this was after Shawn Michaels had lost his smile.
Turned the belt in.
Yep, and this was actually for the title. And Bret Hart comes out the victor in this 4-man battle royal.
This was early 97, right around WrestleMania 13. The WWE title, didn't it change hands like 4 times on Raw between Rumble? It changed
hands a lot.
Is that the most it ever changed hands that fast?
I think so. But I mean, I know.
Sid won it like twice.
Yeah.
And Bret cussed. Remember that?
Yep.
That was awesome.
Yep. That was when Bret started his heel turn.
So many goddamn assholes.
That was when he lost that cage match to Sid.
Pulled a New Jack.
Yep.
But what did you like about this match? I mean, what was it to you that makes it stick out?
Well, just the stipulation to it. Whoever wins gets the belt. It's a 4-man battle royal. You never see that, for one. And it was for the belt.
You're just happy you got some Vader to talk about.
Well, yeah, and Vader's in there, and who doesn't love Vader?
I don't know if we mentioned it last week. Might have. Vader did announce he's got announced, told by his doctors, he's got less than 2 years to live, which is...
Sorry to hear that, Vader.
Shout out to Vader.
Go see Dr. House.
Yeah, but for real.
The real life Dr. House. I'm sure there's one around that might be able to help you.
In all seriousness, best wishes to Vader. True legend. I don't know why he's not in the Hall of Fame. He probably will be now.
Yeah.
I'm sure word's gotten to WWE, but yeah, a surprising pick that you would pick. That was the match itself. Do you remember it being really good?
I thought it was good as far as suspense.
Who won this match?
Bret Hart.
Bret Hart.
Bret Hart won the belt. But yeah, it was kind of suspenseful because you had the Undertaker in the match, and you had Bret Hart. You had Stone Cold, who had won the Rumble, technically, even though he really didn't. If anybody remembers that Rumble, Rumble 96 from Santone.
97.
Well, yes, 97. Sorry, it's in January.
It's where they're going back this year.
Yeah.
The Alamo Dome.
Yep, anniversary time. But Stone Cold had gotten thrown out by Bret in the Final Four, and the refs didn't see it because there was a double elimination that happened right before that between Mankind and Terry Funk.
I was literally about to say, was Terry Funk in the Final Four?
He wasn't in the Final Four. He was in the Final Six.
I hate that Rumble.
He was in the Final Six.
Oh, duh, because you said the Final Four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I hate that Rumble match. It's one of my least favorite.
After Bret Hart eliminated Stone Cold, he went over and eliminated both Vader and The Undertaker at the same time, and that's when Stone Cold snuck back in, and
Then the refs saw it.
Well, the refs didn't see it. Yep, Stone Cold was declared the winner, if you remember.
That's what I mean. They saw Stone Cold tossing him out.
Stone Cold was declared the winner. Bret Hart threw another fit, and eventually they basically had a rematch from the Final Four. But that was one of my favorites, just because it was a battle royal for the title, and I really wasn't sure who was going to win because Shawn had just turned in the belt, and it was almost WrestleMania time. You didn't know where they were going to go booking-wise with this.
Yeah.
So it ended up being Undertaker and Sid at WrestleMania as kind of a throwaway because Shawn Michaels didn't want to drop the belt.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Bret Hart won the match, and he was your new champ. And he lost it the next night on Raw to Sid.
Well, there you have it.
Yep.
Good pick.
Yes,
Surprised me, but thinking about, I got to go back and check that match out.
Yeah.
I don't remember it.
I think I only watched it maybe twice.
Yeah.
But it wasn't one of my most frequented in your house matches, but it was a goodie. Deep cut.
Deep cut.
That was my number 3. Travis, numero dos.
I think we talked about this a little off air. You already know what it's going to be. Let's take you back to July 1995. Shawn Michaels, first time as a babyface with the sexy boy gimmick, just starting off in 95 after WrestleMania 11. Gets put into a feud with current Intercontinental Champion Jeff Jarrett, managed by the Roadie, right? You're supposed to say the Roadie.
Yeah.
You just looked at me.
I wasn't all that excited.
You knew who I was.
Wasn't all that excited about saying the Roadie. But
Shawn Michaels versus Jeff Jarrett from In Your House 2, the second ever In Your House, from Nashville, Tennessee.
Now, was this before or after the concussion thing with Owen Hart?
Before.
Okay.
Because that happened around Survivor Series 95.
All right.
Remember, and then Shawn came back in the wild card
match. I couldn't
match.
remember if this was like his grand return or something. No, that was the Rumble. Yep.
Yeah, the Rumble.
Now that I think about it, yep. Okay, I couldn't remember, but yeah.
One of the matches as a kid I had on VHS that I watched the most. I loved this match.
It was a good match.
It was a really good match.
Yeah.
I don't think it gets talked about a lot. I think a big part of why WWE doesn't talk about it, they're not in good standing with Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
Obviously. I think probably Jeff Jarrett's best match I've ever seen him have.
Yeah,
was this
definitely
match.
in WWE his best match. But aside from his Ahmed Johnson match.
And this was an Intercontinental title match. The main event on this was Diesel versus Sid in a lumberjack match.
Ugh.
In my opinion, because they had the build-up on the same show at the beginning of Jeff Jarrett finally performing live. And that's good shit in itself.
Yes.
That's just as good as
And this was in Nashville, his hometown.
Total great lip-syncing job by Jeff Jarrett.
And I even remember...
Big Al on the guitar! God.
I even remember Vince...
Shout out to Big Al.
Vince McMahon, when he's making his entrance for the actual match, they don't like him in his own hometown. But
didn't Jeff Jarrett say they're going to eat crow tonight like 15 times in the promo? Anyway, great match. Michael, I know you like this match. But I was going to say my point was, this outshadowed, surpassed, in my opinion, the way they built up the actual title match. Shawn was way more over than Diesel. It was just a matter of time at this point. You could see this coming kind of in an Austin way, like the title storm of Austin's popularity. You knew Shawn was going to get that belt around Mania time. And lo and behold, what happened?
He beats Bret.
He beats Bret by the next WrestleMania. But yeah, this match is great. Everyone check it out. You've never seen it. Michael, it's my number 2.
Diesel may have been one of the longest reigning worst champions of all time.
I agree.
Maybe the longest reign.
Worst drawing. One of the worst drawing champions. Kevin Owens
he
is
was
up there
champ
now.
for what? Almost a year?
Yeah. I think he lost.
He won it right after Survivor Series.
And then he lost it at Survivor Series.
And he lost it
the
at
next
Survivor Series. Yep. But that was your number 2. My number 2, another favorite of mine.
Hakushi and Bret Hart.
No. It's In Your House, Calgary Stampede.
Ooh, the main event?
You had the Hart Foundation.
I didn't even think of that one.
The entire Hart Foundation against Team America, basically. This is from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, obviously the hometown of Bret Hart and a lot of the Harts. Going against, I believe it was the Road Warriors, Stone Cold, Goldust, and shit. There was one more in there somewhere.
Ken Shamrock?
Yes, Ken Shamrock. Thank you.
That's why we do this.
Yes. Going against Bret Hart, Owen Hart, Bulldog, Brian Pillman, and Jim the Anvil.
And like all the Hart family,
Yes,
a little
ringside.
Tyson kid, a little Natalia.
They're all at ringside during this match. This may have been one of the loudest pops I've ever heard at a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That doesn't get talked about as much as you would think. Now, granted, they're in their hometown, and there was only maybe 10,000 people in attendance, but that place erupted like there was 50.
I mean, you gotta see this is the same audience that grew up watching these guys as kids.
Yeah.
In Stampede Wrestling.
So I mean, the place went apeshit for the Harts when they came out. It was a great match.
That's an understatement. I think this crowd, and I agree, they went more than apeshit.
Yeah, the place was shaken. Yeah. But this was one of the first times that you saw the bad guys getting cheered like fucking good guys.
I think Mick Foley said in his one book I read, this is one of the loudest ovations, he could literally feel the building shake.
Yeah. I mean, it was just one of those things where this is when wrestling was starting to change into we can root for whoever we want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously this was the time whenever the Harts were in Canada, they got cheered like Gretzky. Whenever they were in America, they got booed like Donald Trump.
It was one of my favorite times in WWE history.
So this was actually a really good match. The Harts come out on top. Owen picking up the victory. Roll up. Yep, we got him with a roll up after Owen had been knocked out of the match prior because of injury. Same thing happened to Stone Cold in this match as well. They both had little breaks for injuries, which I thought was a little much as far as the way the booking went in the match. You can tell Pat had a hand in that, but not that kind of hand. Jesus Christ, I didn't say hand job.
Let me see your ass.
You come back here and we'll discuss the finish.
It's a great.
Could have been an audible. You know what I mean? Maybe the match was designed to go a different way.
In Wrestling with Shadows documentary, there's actually footage of like them booking it backstage with Pat Patterson.
Yeah.
But Bruce Hart got involved. Like, of course, Bruce had to get fucking involved.
And he fucked up. Of course, he
slipped.
He threw his water on Austin way before he was supposed to.
Yeah.
And
didn't Stu get a shot in?
And then he ended up having to do it again.
Hey,
yeah. Bruce got way overzealous as usual.
Didn't Stu punch Steve Austin? I remember somebody in the Hart Foundation Wrestling holding Austin for Stu at ringside because Stu was sitting beside Bruce.
Yeah.
I remember them going over it. And Pat Patterson being like, do some sort of shit in the documentary.
Yeah.
That's a good documentary, too. Check it out. Wrestling with Shadows.
Yep, the Harts get the win here. One of my favorite matches in your house history.
Beautiful about this match, and it makes me depressed for the talent today. Nothing was on the line. There was no stipulation, and people were still that invested in this match.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That speaks to the talent at the time.
Well, you had Bret at the time was the champ.
Speaks to the booking. Let's give Vince Russo credit.
Owen was the Intercontinental champ. So I mean, there was titles, in the match that just weren't on the line.
This was Vince Russo booking 101. This was Vince Russo's work as far as a booker. A lot of people always want to talk about the bad Russo did. I'll give credit to the man when it's due. This was good. Russo did not always have bad ideas.
No.
He just jumped the shark too many times.
It was great. I think Vince Russo in WWE helped him a lot because he had those people to turn down a lot of those shitty ideas.
Vince had a green light
that didn't get turned down in WCW. So, or TNA.
Yeah.
He had Vince McMahon there to say, no, we're not using that stupid shit. But on his good ideas, Vince was like, yeah, all right. So Vince McMahon. Sorry, we have two Vinces. Two Vinces don't make a wrong.
Yeah.
But
hey, bro, let me ask you something. I'm Vince Russo, bro. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, not your best impression. Stick to New Jack. All right, number one.
Tip top of the mountain time. Number one on my list.
God, please don't be the same as mine.
Honorable mention, shout out to a match I'm sure is not on your list. It's a lot better than it should have been. The Hog Pen match. I like that match. With Triple H.
Triple H and Henry Godwin.
Yes, honorable mentions.
Triple H, that was part of his punishment.
How could you not?
After the curtain call.
And if you have the same number one, it is not going to surprise me.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be. Now that you're talking about it, I kind of already know.
That first Hell in a Cell match of all time. You got the same one?
Yep.
Too sweet. Too sweet, me. Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, the first Hell in a Cell match. Bad Blood in your house. Bad Blood 97.
The debut of Kane.
The debut of Kane. He ripped the steel cage door off. A gimmick taken, as I've heard Jim Cornette, who had a hand in booking this, was from like a Mid-South gimmick with Butch Reed ripping a steel cage door off. I go way too in-depth sometimes.
Yeah.
I need to stop that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike.
Enough side notes.
I like Butch Reed.
I don't know how much we really need to discuss this match, because if you're even I even want to say if you're a casual wrestling fan that's been watching wrestling for at least 20 years.
I'm not going to lie. I debated. I had another one that might surprise you, too, what my other one would have been.
Okay. But this was no debate for me. This had to be my number one, just because it was that good of a match. I still think it's the best Hell in a Cell match, even better than Foley versus Taker.
Yeah.
I know Foley and Taker get remembered more because of the spots.
That's what it was, Spot Fest.
Yeah, it was just Foley getting destroyed.
This was a great story told by Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker.
I mean, Shawn Michaels pretty much got his ass kicked for most of the match, but he still got his stuff in every once in a while. Plus, they fought outside the cage.
Yeah.
And
that slow Earl Hebner count was in full force in this.
Plus, one of the classic photos that you'll ever see is Shawn Michaels one of the classic videos is him getting thrown into that cell face first with the bloody face, and just sliding down like, oh my god.
This was the first time, even in WCW, because they did it first with this top on the cage. Did anyone climb to the top like this and did what they did?
Yeah.
He straight up Undertaker's stuttering. My fucking Matt Morgan.
Excited.
He did a Ultimate Warrior body press to Shawn Michaels while standing on top of the Hell in a Cell.
And slammed him on top of the cell.
And just slammed him.
And of course, Shawn Michaels goes...
$190 didn't break. Let's be honest, he was like $190.
Well, I wasn't supposed to break, but...
Well, it didn't break
Shawn Michaels, did get thrown off the cage eventually through the table there.
Do you remember seeing this for the first time?
It wasn't all the way from the top, but it was almost to the top.
Do you remember seeing this for the first time?
Yeah.
Especially that body press and your reaction.
I was like, oh, no, don't do that.
This was one of the holy shit moments I remember in my younger days. Definitely.
There were so many moments in this match, and I thought the quality of this match was way better than Mankind and Taker, obviously because there was no pause in between for injury.
Yeah.
But this was such a good match. This is one of my top 10 matches of all time.
I thought Bret was going to be on every match. You gave me a little peek behind the curtain before.
Yeah, I decided against it.
Mixed it up.
Yeah.
Did you have another number one before?
I did.
Okay.
But
honorable mention, what my number one might have been, Over the Edge, Austin versus Dude Love with like Patterson as timekeeper. Undertaker gets involved. That crowd was
Vince
fucking
was the ref.
insane. Yes.
Yeah.
And it was great. That was the Attitude Era at its peak, in my opinion.
Yep.
Just loved it. There it is.
And actually, that Hell in a Cell match was the main event, and Bret had defended the title earlier
against the Patriot.
Yes, that was not the main event. This is one of the first times on pay-per-view in a while that you didn't see the title defended in the main event.
Because
for
it was
good reason.
Patriot.
Yes, for good reason. It was, and if people try to blame that on Bret Hart, you put him against the fucking Patriot.
The Patriot was supposed to be a big deal when he came in. For all our listeners have no clue who the Patriot was.
Wilkes.
It was just a masked wrestler with a American flag all over.
Yeah.
That was his gimmick. He came out the American flag.
It was basically a cheap imitation of Lex Luger.
But he had no charisma.
Yeah.
Just didn't work.
And when he talked, he sounded like a redneck.
I'm the Patriot.
My name's Dale Wilkes, and I'm gonna beat you, Bret Hart, for that WWF Championship.
America.
Fuck yeah.
Didn't say that. It was the Attitude Era, but they had to draw the line. Michael, that's all I got this week. Slam Pigs Podcast 36 is in the books.
It's in the books. Guys, be on the lookout for This Day in Wrestling History. Also, make sure to check us out on Twitter at Mike the Slam Pig or at the Hibiki TMD. Also on Facebook at the Hibiki TMD. Also, the Slam Pigs Podcast. Make sure to check out all our friends, including Eric Amar Johnson. He's on Facebook and on Twitter at MTL Broski. Thanks, guys, for having us once again. I think I did pretty well this show. I wasn't real disrespectful to anybody.
It's because you're dealing with me.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying.
I feel like
this is one of the first times in a while I didn't really take any cheap shots.
I feel like you're starting to know better. So
I didn't have enough alcohol.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I was a little, short on the alcohol this week.
Let's do some cinemas.
Yep.
Let's get some more in the book.
Be on the lookout for a new Slam Pig Cinema, guys. Until next week.
Thank all you guys once again. Until next week. Maybe we'll have a guest. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll cuss. Maybe we won't. We will.
We're definitely going to cuss.
Slam Pigs Podcast right here next week. Have a good one.
Bye.
The Slam Pigs Podcast.
Hey guys, Mike here from the Slam Pigs Podcast, reminding you, as always, check us out on Twitter, @Slam Pigs Podcast. Check us out on Facebook, The Slam Pigs Podcast. Or, as always, check us out on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button. Hibiki TMD is where it's at. Until we meet again, oink oink.